Nerdy movie fans, I've watched the next Halloween movie, and it it was okay. So I have here Rob Zombie's Halloween. Um, this had a rough opening because the opening lasted about 45 minutes, and I was getting exhausted waiting for something to happen. So the idea of Michael Myers talking, and that's about the only thing I knew about this movie, is Michael Myers speaks in this movie. I didn't really know what to think about that. I was hoping it was gonna be done in a cool way, maybe, but no. So basically, the movie opens where this kid has a crappy dad, and a sister doesn't want much to do with him, and a mom that's doing her best. That's enough to make a kid go mad, I guess. And so this kid, after a dramatic recap of him being bullied at school and his dad being rude to him, sister being rude to him, I mean, they went way out of their way in this movie to give an explanation to why a 10-year-old would go and murder a bunch of people. I mean, I guess maybe technically it does happen, but it just seemed like for a horror movie, for a character we already know is going to do all these things, it felt like such a long time explaining why he's doing the very thing fans who went to the theater to see this for the first time expected him to do anyway. And so it just felt way too dragged out. But the kills were interesting. It was just almost an annoyance. It just felt like I just wanted to get to the part where he's an adult, because that part also took forever. After his few kills as a child, he then goes on to meet Dr. Loomis, where he's in this psychiatric place, and that lasts a while too. I mean, I think it was 45 minutes, maybe an hour into the movie before we even see him as an adult. And the movie's 2 hours, so that's halfway through. That's half of the movie is recapping just to get to the point that every other Halloween movie has pretty much already picked up from. The only movie in the Halloween franchise thus far before this is the very first one, explaining what he did as a kid. And it wasn't a very long explanation or recap at all. I mean, it was an hour-long recap for things that we all already knew. So that aside, the acting, I guess, was fine. I mean, there wasn't anything about the acting that just stood out as bad to me. It just felt like a waste of time. So moving on from that, enough of the negativity. Once he's in the psychiatric place, I mean, the imagery becomes a little bit more interesting, where we're seeing him slowly stop talking. He's wearing different weird masks that he's handmade in this place. And this is where it doesn't, the movie isn't creepy. It's his appearance starts to become a little bit more creepy in terms of getting closer to the version of Michael Myers we all already know. And so by the time we finally see him as an adult, after a long explanation and long recap, it just repeats itself. I mean, a lot of it was repeating his mother, Dr. Loomis. Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? He's never gonna kill again. He's a sweet boy. Oh, he killed again. Well, if he's still fine, he kills again. Well, but he'll be okay. It just felt like it was just repeating itself over and over. So when he's an adult, we have a couple people in this facility that are just acting like, I mean, idiots. I mean, they take this prisoner, this lady who's probably innocent, I guess. We don't really know anything about her other than these guys want to rape her. And they do, in Michael Myers' room. So, one, why would you do that in the first place? Two, why would you do it in a patient's room? Three, why would you do it in Michael Myers' room? So, I don't know. Was that rape scene really needed? No. Did it do anything for the plot? All it did is give a reason for him to kill these guys. So again, it's justifying the killing, where it's like, oh, but they just did this, so, they deserve to die. Which is kind of what they did with a couple other characters, where, oh, well, they're assholes, so they deserve to die. That's kind of how they're portraying. It's almost like they're almost trying to victimize Michael Myers at times, so that part was a little annoying because for a horror fan, I don't need a reason to feel bad for a killer. I just want to see the killer do stuff. That's why we're watching a horror movie instead of some romance movie or comedy. If we want to watch a horror movie, we want to see some effed up stuff happen, and I don't need to know why. So, now sometimes movies do need explanation. It's just in a franchise that's 9 movies in at this point. It's not needed 9 movies in. And I know it's technically a reboot slash remake, whatever, but still. So, anyway, promise, guys, I'm done with the opening. As an adult, he kills these 2 guys in the facility, and he's able to escape. So now he's a Michael Myers that we're familiar with. He's out about, and he's looking for family to kill. And so it's been so long. I've seen the first 2 Halloween movies, so I can't recall the exact explanation for why this sibling reveal was in the second, not the first movie. I don't remember why he specifically targeted Laurie Strode in the first one if she wasn't his sister yet. But irregardless, in this movie, Michael Myers killed his father and his sister, but there is a baby. And so the baby is now Laurie Strode, who's this teenager. She babysits this kid, like in the first one. And that's sort of her role. She's a teenager. I think she was in the original too. But in this movie, they go to make her more quirky, which is also fine. But I think the problem with this Laurie Strode is they didn't really do much to build her relationships with really any other character except for the kid she's babysitting. And besides that, an hour into the movie, I mean, she gets about 30 minutes of screen time before stuff starts really going down. So 30 minutes to describe, explain, show off, showcase, and build a character. 30 minutes, I mean, some TV shows take a whole season to explain a character's story. So 30 minutes just wasn't enough to connect with this Laurie Strode. And so obviously Michael Myers is going after her because he knows that she's a sister. And so in this movie, he already knows from the beginning. And so targeting her friends, and at this point in the movie, it almost just copies the first one in the sense of there really wasn't a new or original motive. It just sort of just happens. He's targeting Laurie Strode and her friends just because. And so there's a lot of showdowns between this character and that character trying to kill Michael Myers, where he killed this guy, but then he turns out to be alive. You thought they killed Michael Myers, but then he turns out to be alive. And so the last, I think, 15 minutes is just, I mean, it's not filled with, but I felt like there were multiple fake outs. And fake outs are fine in movies where it's trying to be a little goofy, like Scream. Every time Gale or Dewey survives, I mean, you want them to. You're excited that, oh, that was a fake out. Good, we get this character back. But in this movie, it's treated so gritty. I mean, a girl was raped in this movie. This is the furthest thing from comedy for horror movies. And so I just wasn't expecting fake outs in this kind of a movie, but that's what we got in the end. And so knowing there's another one, I don't have any spoilers for. I don't know what the plot is. So I am a little bit intrigued to see what Rob Zombie Halloween 2 is all about. As far as this movie's concerned, I don't know where to put in my ranking, which I do want to rank them all when I finish them. I just don't know where this fits. I mean, is it better than some of the worst other ones? Yeah. Is it better than the better ones? I don't know. So this movie was fine. It was enjoyable as far as the kills and the action was concerned. It's just one of those movies that you take this storyline and that storyline. If you think about it, it just doesn't make sense. And if you're bothered by things not making sense, then this movie may bother you like it did me. So it wasn't a terrible movie. I definitely found it enjoyable at parts. This movie, it just felt like I just didn't really see why it was needed. But It says my collection. I have the Blu-ray. I was lucky to find a Blu-ray. The only other times I've seen this movie is just DVD. So I'm lucky to have a Blu-ray, and I'm not really holding my breath for a Scream Factory 4K release, even though we've got Scream Factory with the other 8. So we'll see if they ever do it. Maybe they already have, and I'm just an idiot and don't know about it. But this Blu-ray says my collection. Glad I watched it because I'm completionist. I want to finish them all. Thanks for watching my review of Rob Zombie Halloween. Keep it digging, guys. See you next time.